'Neath the elms of our dear Trinity, 'neath the elms of our dear old Trinity, if by chance we meet, separate glances on the street, 'neath the elms of our blah. See, I don't even know if that's the right thing. Fuck Trinity College and every goddamn tradition. Alright, so I'm deciding I'm gonna do the prologue section to my very long Alright, it's gonna be about Chris Kenny. It's gonna be about the Chris Kenny case. But fortunately, like many stories, it has to devolve into some nonsense. So thankfully, that 5-act sort of Shakespearean fucking structure I pulled out my ass for the Miles thing, and for my fucking story, I think it's gonna work for this really well. Because, it's the comedy of the fucking absurd, alright? You know, it's the fucking tragedy of the sublime, the story, if I really get into it. But before I get into it, you know, I gotta dig up other things. So I'm gonna keep walking, because, shit, you stand here long enough, you get in trouble. So yeah, here I am outside, St. Anthony's Hall. Graveyard right behind me. Keep those in mind, you know, I'm gonna keep walking. So, I don't know, as a child, I was always a scavenger. You know, I think being raised by junkies, that's the nature of the disease. You're a hoarder, you're fucking, you know, shit that doesn't matter, you know, crumpled up pieces of paper, just, you know. So, monkey see, monkey do. No evil, see it, you know. But I'd picked up from my folks the habit of just picking up shit, putting it in my pocket, whatever it was. You know, if I'd be walking on the street and there was something cool, some refuse, some piece of trash that nobody thought was of any interest, no, it would be to me. Oh, it really would be to me, you know. It could have been a fucking bone, alright? It could have been a fingertip. I would have picked it up and said, ooh, put it in my pocket, you know. It would have gained heavy symbolism it didn't need, because it was a human bone, you know. Speaking of bones. Yeah, your eyes don't deceive you. That's a, skull and bones, another Masonic imagery built into this castle, so, you know. I mean, yeah, what I'm about to say in these next few parts is going to be bullshit, so it's going to sound like bullshit, because we met upon the level, departing on the square. I know the handshake, too. They probably don't use it anymore, but that's the sort of Mason sort of, you know, bullshit. But I'm realizing, as a child, and, you know, looking at pictures, and even when I recleaned, you know, my folks' room after, you know, my father's vacation and kicking my mother out and coming to terms with all the fucking little skeletons they had hidden in the closets, chopped up into small pieces, you know, I'm talking you symbolic fucking tibias and shit and fucking hyoid bone even, you know, the only bone that's not connected. I used to know all the fucking bones. I was amazing in anatomy. Knew every goddamn thing and memorized. Always to be the best at it. Just because, I don't know, maybe I always knew something about what was on the inside some people didn't know. And more than just fucking those names, let me tell you that much. But yeah, I'm realizing I used to probably pick up needles and spoons, you know. That's why I like to clean up after people. Not myself. I'm a slob. But other people, I always loved picking up after. That's why I was a good food service worker, you know. I was a workhorse. It was just any compulsion, you know, pick it up, put it away, hide it. So I used to get high, you know. I used to really get actually high. Because I just pick up fucking shit that was contaminated. Like what happened recently, even with gloves, you know, these drugs are so fucking strong that it contaminates an entire community. Alright, let me go down Vernon Street for this. Alright. Hallowed halls and ivory towers. Prologue. The Bone Collector. Old Enoch, he lived to be 165 when the Lord came and took him back to heaven alive. I saw the light come shining all around. I saw the light come shining, I saw the light come down. When Paul prayed in prison, those prison walls fell down. Prison kept shouting, redeeming love I found. I saw the light come shining all around. Okay, I'm not going to tell it now, but there was only one time, you know, in my memory, so who knows, you know, maybe I tried to pull the fucking True Detective, fucking Rust Cole one day, I don't remember. I think maybe not, I didn't. There was one time that I was ever inside the St. Anthony's Hall castle. I used to go into the little separate dorm Ogilvy a few times back when I was, for some reason, my full semester as a Clio, they were like, hey, you know, this guy Will, who fucking hates every other fraternity on campus, yeah, let's fucking have him be a fucking inner Greek council rep, so he'll have to go and meet with these people. So I met with these people, okay, in Ogilvy. 08, maybe late 08. No, because I'd written shit about that before that, so it would have been late 07 perchance. I don't know. Time is a flat circle, and when you fucking live the life I lived, you know, I can remember all the specifics, all the fucking, again, all the anatomy, but shit, you ask me what given date it is, what numbers are, I don't want to know those. Plausible deniability. But we got in there, and there was a fucking, here's the building. It was just what you would envision. It was like straight up, and I haven't seen the film, but like it was a Knives Out kind of scenario where there's like this giant wooden table you can tell was probably fucking made from fucking the 1600s. Fucking slaves chopped it down. Fucking it's probably stained with the blood of some Native Americans, and they had this giant, is it a boar's head? It's a boar's head, maybe an elk's head. Just these fucking, actual, not like, oh, like really, like heavy. Like I don't know how they stuck them in the walls, that's how huge they were. And we're there trying to have this fucking meeting. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. And again, hindsight, I showed up there fucked up. So it's like, obviously everyone there's fucking coked out of their brain. Probably had been in a fucking speedball bender for fucking months and have no idea what's going on. So, you know, but they're good at going through the motions. Throwing a fucking little rager every once in a while for a fundraiser and hey, you're all good. So that was one memory. Which, shit, basement tapes indeed. So, it was after the Chris Kenny attack. Again, the student-on-student cover-up attack, where a Harvard resident became a patsy and served prison time for a crime he did not commit. For a crime that rich, drugged-out white people committed against each other involving sexual harassment, sexual assault. I'm talking like it's a story, all right. I can see why it's one that doesn't want to be told. Just like how my parents didn't want the story of their addiction to be told. Just like any cultish, weird organization. That's the thing, you know. Not every conspiracy theory is right, trust me. A lot of this is just delusions and sublimations and just false paranoia because, you know, sometimes it's the simplest solution. Sometimes the simplest solution is still maddening and spirals and fucking not logical when it's created by people, again, like I've said before about, you know, Joe Visconti and all these Boogaloo boys. Again, there's no difference between Boogaloo boys, no difference between the dope boys, and no difference between the boys who are back in town at St. Anthony's Hall or in SIU or in AD or Clio or in all the other ones I'm going to talk about later. So, yeah. They erased it. I wrote Chris Kenny. Oh, you can maybe see it. Chris Kenny Truth on there. This was where they had to install this afterwards because of the attack. And, you know, you need protection. No. They would intentionally want to use this route because this was a good route. They could fucking be high as shit and do their little drug runs. And, again, the selective permeable membrane. All right? And even if there was fucking Harvard locals who attacked them, as there was one time later on, trust me, it was just a drug deal gone bad. But that wasn't the case with Chris Kenny. But I remember I was bringing up that and to somebody, and then they were mentioning how the hall, and this makes sense because I asked around, and you used to be able to see them leave late at night for their little rituals. They go into the graveyard. You know, it was a Zionist, the Zion Hill. If I'm lying, I'm dying. That was transient, hardcore drug addict who managed to trick me and my friends, including Florida Man. One of our last real raging party nights, which fuck it, I'll talk about later. It's a good story. Maybe I can write it thematically. This is a grifter, drug addict. Maybe he was in the military, maybe he wasn't, but I still see him around, and he's intense, so I have to fucking plausible deniability, you know. Plausible deniability. So yeah, all the old bones and whatnot that would be in here. So apparently, St. Anthony's Hall would go, and they specifically go, and this is what I heard. People are saying this. Did I see it? Did I see a tape? Did I see a fragment of a gravestone that they may be keeping there? No, but, you know, like I've been trying to say, it's what you don't see, but what you know, what you see, what you hear, words that aren't said. So yeah, apparently they'd go and they'd break these little rich fucking kids. Again, drugs is hella drugs. And maybe it's bonding, and trust me, I would do the same thing. You just see, the shit I used to do, I'll tell about later. You know, like fucking carrying around the American flag, draping it, fucking lighting it on fire in a graveyard, you know, sacrilegious things that we do. But, yeah, they did that. And again, I had to see recently people, local Harvard activists like Ann Diggity and who's that guy, Leon something, the dude who's got always the, I've taken pictures of all these drug addicts who are there, I know it's them. And you know what? Yeah, probably a couple gravestones are there because this is a good spot for, because we don't have safe injection sites, and because we don't have spaces where people who have disease, who have leprosy, and again, before the plague that we're dealing with now, there's been a plague that's been going on for a long ass time called the fucking opioid epidemic. I don't know if you've heard of it. So yeah, these lepers, occasionally they go there and, yeah, you're fucked up, you're fucked up, especially on heroin. Or now, just raw fentanyl with a little bit of PCP or maybe a little cheap ass crack to balance you out, a little bit of brake fluid dipped fucking weed to take the edge off, maybe get yourself a cowboy killer or a little pint of Dubra. Yeah, so whatever. I mean, not whatever, it's sacrilege. But these people, these older people, always would think it had to be these Hartford locals. These beautiful, noble people at Trinity. No, it couldn't have been them. Well, let me tell you, I got a fucking story to tell. Guess what? It was them. It is them. Alright? There's few things that chill me to my bones anymore, Very few things. I've seen a lot of horror, I stared into the abyss, both in the eyes of others and in the eyes that I saw in a mirror. Whether that mirror had a little bit of powder on it, whether that mirror was just being perceived when I was tripping on acid, so all sorts of weird, crazy metatextual things happened, or whether I was just completely straight, young kid looking at a mirror, looking at my bone, my little xiphoid process protrusion, and feeling insecure. I don't know. But I was in the dark for so long. But I saw the light. I saw that light come shining. I saw that light come down. Dry bones in that valley. Got up and took a little walk. The deaf could hear and the dumb could talk. I saw the light come shining all around. Adam and Eve in that garden under that sycamore tree. Eve said to Adam, Satan never tempted me. I saw the lie come shining. Shining all around. I saw the light come shining. I saw that lie come down. Love and peace from heart trapped in a fucking cage of bone. To be continued.